Do 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 do. Good morning and welcome to Thursday Morning Conversations. I am Doodle Harris, the Associate Pastor at Highland Presbyterian Church. And with me today is Bill McConnell. Hi, Bill.
Hello, how are you this morning?
I'm great. Bill, you are a musician. Can you approve upon my opening theme song at all?
It was absolutely stunning. Brought tears to my eyes.
I've been trying to get folks to write me a new theme song this whole time. So if you're bored, if you're in the mood, I invite you to participate.
I'll remember that.
While you ponder on that, everyone, I'd like to share some announcements for this week. First, later today, Fellowship Committee is hosting happy hour online. They'll be talking about favorite family Easter traditions. So if you're interested in talking about that, hope you'll join that committee and that group at 5 o'clock today. Bill, do you have any fun Easter traditions?
Well, it's a big family holiday, but my sister has 6 kids, so when you get all of us together around one table, it can be it's a it's quite a menagerie.
Wow, that's huge. All right. Also, this Saturday, we have our children's Spread the Love scavenger hunt at church from 12 to 3. It's not too late to sign up for that event. You will need to sign up for a start time so that we don't have too many families close together. If you need that sign up, let me know and I'll send it right to you. And this Sunday, outdoor worship continues. I haven't checked the weather yet, but I hope it should be great for another 9 a.m. outdoor worship on the Plume Mobley lawn. Also want to celebrate some birthdays this week. These birthdays are from March the 14th to the 20th. So happy birthday, Ellen Collier, Tom Harden, Laura Welch, Francisco Bahandas, Sawyer Mead. Sawyer Mead is one, Bill. He was born right at the beginning of the pandemic last year. It
Wow.
kind of freaks me out that he's one.
Wow.
But Sawyer, hope you have a great birthday. Maren Schickler, Stephanie Letson, Adelaide Smith. We have some St. Patrick's birthdays yesterday. That was Thomas Anderson, Mary Stuart Reichert, Kevin Taylor, Cynthia Welch, Greta Smith. And to finish the week, happy birthday, Jill Jarvis, Randy Shue, Martin Schindler, John Reed, and Sally Stevens. That's a great group of birthday people this
That's
week.
quite a list.
Oh, Bill, now it's your turn to talk for a while.
Oh my. Okay.
Something that I have found you to be very good at in my years of knowing you. Bill, tell me how long you have been at Highland and what you love the most about Highland.
Let's see. I moved to Louisville in December of 2011, and after a little church shopping, I'd say I joined Highland around April or May of 2012, I think. It was just after, it was just as Cynthia's status was changing from interim pastor into the called and installed position. Um, let's see. I've been a member of session. Just finished a second 3-year term, so I'm on my 1-year sabbatical. And I think some of the things I like most about Highland are the a real commitment to not leaving our brains at the door when we get to the worship service. That questioning is okay, and that we there are lots of opinions, and we're all willing to talk about them, and we're all on a path to understand who God is and what God would have us do. But we're not afraid to ask questions about it, and also just the diversity of thought and the age range and the sometimes crazy wildness, the sometimes quiet and contemplative nature, but also some of the crazy wildness. I will never forget the first Palm Sunday that I was sitting in the congregation just minding my own business, and all of a sudden the kids came screaming and streaming into the sanctuary with the palms waving, and I didn't know what had hit me. I wasn't sure I was still in a Presbyterian church, but anyway, that's more than you asked.
Did you know that sometimes some of our music directors, not mentioning any names, Martha Mackla, but sometimes those kids are encouraged to shout things like lasagna instead of
I,
Hosanna.
I picked up a little bit of that too. They were having a lot of fun, And it was great. I loved it. It just kind of caught me off guard that first time.
I hope it gets the opportunity to catch you off guard again. I'm looking forward to that. Well, you've been here long enough, Bill. Do you have a favorite HPC t-shirt yet?
Well, I don't have many, but I do have one that I think Megan McCarty designed. It's the design of the outline of the church and the word home on it, which I think pretty much says it. Just when I was looking for a for a congregation to affiliate with when I got to Louisville, that's what I was looking for, was a place to call a spiritual home.
Those were great ones. Megan McCarty designs about half of our t-shirts. So yeah,
She's good at that.
yeah, she is. She is, among other things.
Hmm.
Bill, you work for the national office, and I know that, but I don't know what exactly you do there. Can you share that with us?
Sometimes I don't either, so we might be doing okay here. Yeah, I do work for the Presbyterian Church on the national level. When I first came to Louisville, I came as executive director of the Presbyterian Association of Musicians, and so I worked with musicians and pastors and worship planners, and then about 5 years ago, I moved my position into the Presbyterian Mission Agency. My title is Mission Engagement Advisor, which after lots of trying to get a good explanation and good definition, I refer to myself as a conduit. I'm somebody that connects what's going on at the national level and in the international level of the church with local congregations, presbyteries, and individuals. And so I'm responsible both for providing resources and helping people find resources, but then also in stewarding and soliciting financial support for the ministries of the church that are done on behalf of the members. My geographic region is a 13-state region. It's 3 synods, ranges from Alabama and Mississippi on the Gulf Coast all the way to Minnesota and North Dakota on the Canadian border. So it's a 35 presbyteries and 13 states, and keeps me hopping. Although I haven't traveled in just over a year, so looking forward to being able to get back on the road and actually visit some of those folks and see them face to face.
So are you just Zooming all the time to have those conversations now?
Lots of Zooming. People are the interesting thing is that I do make have made a lot of phone calls and thanking donors and that sort of thing. People are actually answering the phone these days because folks are at home and they kind of get lonely. But no, I do a lot of Zoom meetings and phone calls, and occasionally with somebody who uses WebEx. So I mean, it's a lot of sitting in this room and communicating from here.
So you have to keep that one room clean in your house.
Absolutely.
The rest of it doesn't matter.
And what's behind you that's not behind me. That's not a filter. Although I've got some that I could pop up if you need me to.
Well, tell me or tell us, Bill, what is going on in the national church that Highland needs to know about or would find interesting?
I think we're all in a situation where we for a lot of years we were wringing our hands about, well, what's the church going to look like 5 years down the road or 10 years down the road, and then all of a sudden COVID hit, and all that hand wringing had to stop, and we just had to say, okay, here's what the church is going to be. And so we're all looking at ways to be responsive to the local church, to understand what it is that who we are as Christians. Also, back in 2016, the General Assembly decided to designate Matthew 25 as sort of the guiding principle of who we are as a church. The passage where Jesus says, when you did all of these things to the least of these, you did them to me. And so how do our ministries fit into that context? And that's an ongoing process, and making sure that everything we do aligns with those commands. Things like special offerings. I mean, the special offerings, we've got the One Great Hour of Sharing offering just coming up, where we support Presbyterian disaster assistance and the hunger program and the self-development of people. and how do all three of those ministries fit within the ideas of Matthew 25, and the ones that we're highlighting in terms of dismantling systemic poverty, eradicating systemic racism. Sorry, it's a little early and I only have one cup of coffee in me. And also to enhance congregational vitality. So how do all those things fit? We're like the local churches. We're having to retool and refigure how we do what we do. I've also been responsible for worship services that have been offered to the denomination. We've got one coming up for Easter. That's now with the folks that do the translating. It includes music from 3 parts of the world, greetings in 8 languages, a sermon from Diane Moffat. So I think it's going to be a fun worship service. So, what do I do for a living? Yeah, all of that and other duties as assigned.
We all know what that feels like.
It's called line. It's the part on the job description form that's just printed on there before before they even start. That's the it's on there.
Right. Well, you mentioned 1 great hour of sharing, and I want to share that Highland is participating in that offering on Easter, maybe on Palm Sunday. I can't remember, but we'll be announcing that in worship.
Uh-huh.
So hope you all at Highland will participate in that.
Well, if you what we're thinking, what we're looking at it is one of the things we're realizing is with the changes in the church right now is that yes, 1 great hour sharing is traditionally collected on Palm Sunday and Easter around that time, but there are churches that collect the 1 great hour sharing offering all year long, at various times through the year. There are and the needs exist all year long. So if people make contributions, and they can do it either through the church or directly through the denomination, and if they do it direct through our website I'll do that, pcosa.org/donate. Just note that the contribution came from Highland Presbyterian Church in Louisville, so we can be sure and credit the congregation for the gift.
Thanks. Thank you for that. In fact, I think that's how we've been doing it this year, is just encouraging that online giving.
Just note that it's coming from a member of Highland, so we can tie that gift back to the congregation.
Thank you. Bill, I know you. You are a dreamer. You have more ideas than just about anybody I know. So do you have any dreams or hopes or thoughts for our denomination where you'd like us to go, or see us, who you want us to see us be?
I really think that if we can really embrace and live into the Matthew 25 challenge, we will have done a lot. The Presbyterian Church has done amazing things over its life, both since 1983 when reunion happened and the so-called Southern Church and the so-called Northern Church came back together, but for all the way back to the days of Calvin. We have always responded to the world around us, and we've always responded to our community. And one of the things I've learned, I've been a Presbyterian all my life. One of the things I've learned about Presbyterians is that our process of getting to decisions about what we're going to do and who we're going to be, those processes tend to take forever, and they tend to be kind of messy. But what I do find is that once we get to a decision, we almost always get to the right one. It just takes us a while. So we need to keep talking. We need to stay at the table. We need to stay engaged with each other. When we disagree, when we have differences of opinion or differences of emphasis, just stay at the table and keep working on it and lean into each other, so that I can say, so wait a minute, explain to me why I don't agree with you. What is it? What's the point you're making that I haven't quite gotten yet? Help me understand. And then once we do all of that, and if we're faithful about it, we're going to be a better church for it.
Thanks for that. Thanks.
How was that?
Yeah, that feels really fair to what I've experienced. So I really appreciate that, your articulation of that. All right, Bill, you have the floor.
Oh my.
Anything else you want to say to Highland? What do you want us to know about anything in the world?
Um, Highland has been an influential and great church locally and within the presbytery and within the denomination. It has been, it is now, and it's on the verge of continuing to be that great church. We can't rest on our laurels. We can't sit back and say, here's what we used to do, and it was certainly really good, and we just need to celebrate that, which is fine. It's fine to celebrate the history. But the church of 2021 is very different from the church of even 2020 or 2019. And so there are some things we're going to have to, there are some things we need to really emphasize, and there are other things we might need to let move back into a subservient or a less prominent role. But I think Highland has not been afraid to be on the cutting edge in the past, and I want Highland to continue to be on that cutting edge, and to lead the charge.
Thanks. Thanks for that, Bill. I'm
And
glad
we've
you
got a
have.
really fine group of folks working within Highland. Our pastors, and our other staff are doing fantastic work. Lots of it behind the scenes. I was telling Doodle I was just at the church yesterday recording a healing and wholeness service, and it felt so good to be back in the church. But looking around and seeing the people that do so much that we don't see, and so it just reminded me of what we had to offer, who we are, and what we've got, and to celebrate it.
Thanks. Thanks for all of that. We're trying. We're trying to
Mm-hmm.
do that. Well, it's been great talking with you, Bill.
You too.
Next week, I hope you all, Highland, will join us. We have Janet Raderer and Anna Grace Slagle from Stitch. We'll actually be recording from the actual Stitch room here at the church. So that'll be new and exciting. Hope you will join us then. And until then, I hope you have a great week. Thanks for being here, and bye, Highland.
See ya.